talk about first alert weather on this Tuesday. Frosty morning, but today will be bright and chilly. Thankfully, those winds, as we had yesterday, they won't be as gusty. First alert meteorologist Rochelle Jay has more on the temperature rebound heading our way. Rochelle?
Yeah, Denise, we're going to be heading back into the upper 50s and eventually some 70s before we even get to the weekend. But looking outside, we've got more sunshine across the area versus what we had at this time yesterday. Lots of blue showing up as we look outside of the WJZ Observatory on this Tuesday afternoon. As you mentioned, it's cool out there, but we don't have the winds from Monday, which is definitely some good news for sure. So as we take a look at the full forecast for today, it's going to stay quiet overall. Here's first alert radar across the board. Sweeping quiet over the last 3 hours, nothing to really write home about. And with the satellite, very few clouds are overhead. You do see we do have some clouds for our friends on the eastern shore and some parts of Calvert County heading into southern Maryland right now. But otherwise, it's pretty much wall-to-wall sunshine across the board. And with those clear skies that were here this morning, it allowed those temperatures to drop. For us right now, we're anywhere between 5 and 25 degrees colder for most of the state outside of the mountains of western Maryland and Garrett County. Right now at BWI Marshall, we're sitting at 43 degrees. Those winds are generally on the light side, around 4 miles an hour right now, but a light wind still making it feel like the upper 30s to right around 40 degrees. So our temperatures are cooler. We're going to be well below normal for today versus what you'd expect for the later part of March, but that warm up is on the way. Again, we've got some 60s and maybe even a few 70s that are on the way before the end of the work week. We'll take a closer look at that warming trend, Denise, coming up in the full forecast.
All right, let's take a live look outside at the WJZ Outback. As you see, very little breeze today and bright sunshine, but it's chilly, Rochelle.
It is chilly. Temperatures, depending on where you are right now, are anywhere between 5 and 25 degrees colder than where we were yesterday. But the good news is we have more sunshine and we have less wind out there. So as far as our actual air temperatures, before you factor in any wind, right now we're sitting at 40 degrees in Chestertown. When we look across the bay, it's 49 right now in Bel Air, 43 in Baltimore City, as well as in Cockeysville. When we take a look over toward the west even further, heading towards areas like Carroll County, Howard County, 39 degrees right now in Westminster, 43 right now in Columbia, and also into the lower 40s for our friends in Severn. So that full forecast does include more quiet weather that is on the way as we go through the rest of your day on Tuesday. So we've got quiet weather for today. Looking ahead to tomorrow, we do have more quiet weather that's on the way, but it comes with more cloud cover. We kind of talked about that a little bit earlier in the broadcast, showing you that risk for some cloud cover a little bit later on today. I'm just going to step off for a second and grab my clicker so we can get into that full forecast so you can look at what we're expecting for the days ahead. It does include, as I mentioned, quiet conditions. Right now at BWI Marshall, we're sitting at 43 degrees. Looking across the area right now, you're seeing those feels like temperatures, so incorporating that little bit of wind that we do have out there. Some of us are feeling like the 30s. First alert radar is sweeping quiet across the board and will continue to do so even when we do start to see more of that cloud cover building in during the second part of the day. Your neighborhood forecast across the eastern shore, we're looking at temperatures this afternoon into the 40s, close to 50 degrees. Typically this time of year, you'd expect us to get into the mid to upper 50s. So it's a cool day for today. Cool night tonight, but not as cool. Cloud cover that fills in keeps us on the slightly milder side, and looking ahead to tomorrow, we'll have those winds coming out of the south, 10 to 15 miles an hour. So a slight breeze out there, and we have temperatures a little closer to 60 degrees. Now looking ahead to Thursday, opening day, does look like we could have the potential for a few showers a little bit earlier, maybe late afternoon. We could maybe squeeze out a shower or two, so we'll have to monitor that. A little bit on the breezy side, but certainly the mildest day of the 7-day forecast. Now by Friday, temperatures heading back down, rain chances heading up for sure, and then we're into the 50s for Saturday and on Sunday. We'll take another look at the 7-day forecast coming up in a few minutes. The news at noon will be back after this. too bad.
A good warm-up. I mean, you were serious about that.
Yeah, we were looking at opening day, really closely. Right now, it's the warmest day of the week. We're monitoring the chance for showers maybe sometime on Thursday, trying to pinpoint that timing, but certainly by Friday, unfortunately, to end the week. But looking ahead to the weekend, 50s to right around 60, a little breeze on Saturday.
But that's a nice spring weekend. All right.